Hi Sylvia, thank you for this opportunity.
Hello, happy to be with you here today.
Okay, so friends, here is one of the name in the energy psychology field, Silvia Hartmann. She has created modern energy art paints and artifacts. She's like, oh my God, she's everywhere. She's chairperson of the EFT Guild, and then she's created positive tapping, author of multiple books. You name it, there are hell lot of courses. Like once you go to, and she's continuous research. I should call Sylvia as an energy psychology scientist. Always like we have her new book also, Star Matrix. You know, so many things, Sylvia. It's been a long journey into the field of energy psychology. So, could you please tell? You have developed a positive tapping. How does it differ from classical EFT?
Okay, so what we need to look at is the modern energy chart, right? I've got little modern energy chart here. So for starters, I I believe EFT to be an energy-based thing that acts on the energy body,
Okay.
right? There's a lot of people who try to deny this and make out it's something else, but we are actually tapping on meridians to improve the energy flow in the energy body. So what I do is I work with energy. And this is the modern energy chart, and it shows us sort of the emotional states that we get into when our energy body states change. So it has this negative side that ends at 0.
Okay.
And the old original classic EFT, what you used to do is you used to ask people, how bad do you feel? And they'd give you like a number, -6, -7. And then you do the tapping. And when it gets to 0 and the person feels nothing, then we stop and send the client home. This used to have a lot of problems, including the apex effect, where the client wouldn't even remember that they ever had the session. So this had a lot of problems. Now I discovered that the EFT miracle, where when you tap on something and not only is the problem gone, but people go, woohoo, and they're really, really happy, is actually when the energy body gets to a much, much higher level, right? The +10. So this is also, if you all know the story with Roger Callahan and Mary and the water phobia, this is what happened with Mary. She didn't go to 0 when she was tapping. She went all the way to +10.
Oh, okay.
Right, and then she went woohoo, and she ran out to the swimming pool, and she was full of joy, full of life, full of energy. So in that origin story of tapping lies this idea that when we tap, we can't just tap our fear away, but we can create an opposite state. And when that opposite state has happened, the problem will never, ever come back. It is completely healed. You're not allowed to say that in psychology, but it is a fact. Mary's water phobia will never come back. So what I said is that we must not send people home when they feel nothing. We need to keep tapping. And so I created Energy EFT in 2011.
Mhm.
And what you did with your client is you tapped to go to 0, but then you didn't stop, but you continued on with positives until they got higher and higher and higher with every round, until that so-called EFT miracle had to happen. It had to happen.
Okay.
It can't not happen. So now we had a direct path from the severe emotional disturbances all the way up past 0, all the way to +10.
Wow.
Now that took a long time, but it was better than just sending people home at feeling nothing, which is no solution, and the problem will come back and leads to confusion. This is a state of confusion around here, of not knowing what's going on, of not knowing what you're feeling. It's not a good state. So then eventually I said, well, why do we bother with all of this? Why do we bother with trying to find even the root of the trauma? Why are we tapping thousands of rounds on all this stuff when we can just go to +10 directly?
Okay.
So what basically modern energy tapping works with positive energy. And Gary Craig said that if you tap on positives, then it's not EFT. So we had to change the name to modern energy tapping. So let me explain how modern energy tapping works. Person comes in, is terribly miserable, has a problem. We ask them, what do you need to overcome this problem? And they might say, oh, there's nothing that could possibly help me. I would need a miracle. So we say, cool, let's start tapping, positive energy tapping. I need a miracle. I need a miracle. I need a miracle. And as this happens, the energy body states becomes better. The person starts to relax, and they're actually going up on the energy chart. So now we ask them again, so what do you need to overcome this problem? And they said, well, actually, come to think of it now, I just need to be more courageous. I need more courage. Okay, let's tap on that. I need more courage. And so we go up with that, and then we test, just as you do in normal EFT, and say, okay, now how's your problem? And they're like, oh, wow, this is so different now. Oh, I feel so much stronger, but there's still this little something. And you say, okay, well, what do you think we need for that little something? And the person then says what comes to their mind, whatever it is. And it could be anything what comes to their mind, something like sunshine or anything. And we tap on that, and that is then the final piece that gets to +10. You have the happy client, you have the person who's gotten over the problem. You go, wow, this is amazing. Not only that, we can then send them home and say, okay, should you get nervous or stressed, let us discuss some personal power positives. You can write them down on a piece of paper. You can put them on the fridge. You do not have to psychoanalyze yourself anymore. When you start feeling scared or nervous, tap on your personal power positives, and learn to ask yourself, what do I need right now? I need a hug from my father. Hug from my father. A hug from my father. Can you sense how that would work?
Yes.
Okay, so it takes out the whole journey into trauma. We don't have to go back into the trauma.
Okay.
If the client insists we go back into the trauma, I've paid you $100, I want to do trauma, God damn it. We can say to them, okay, so the poor aspect that was so traumatized, your past self, what can we here and now send that aspect today to heal it? What does this past self, this inner child, the wounded, traumatic person, what does that need from us, both of us here now, so we can heal it? What can we send it across time and space? And that is, again, positive energy, positive outward going energy. And that's another word for love, and love is very healing. And so we have a simple, direct path to healing there, working with the power of the positives. So that's basically how we got from normal tapping to energy EFT, and then to modern energy tapping, where we're literally just working with positives.
Okay, okay. So this is how it evolved. And how many levels are there in this modern energy tapping, Sylvia?
How many
Like,
levels? Sorry.
like if someone wants to become a trainer,
Okay.
a practitioner,
Two.
like two. Okay.
A foundation course that is 1 day,
Mhm.
or 4 units if it's done over Skype. That's 4 units. And a master's course, which is done over 3 days with 12 units.
Okay, okay.
It is very interesting to work with tapping with positives, because you can, for the practitioner, you can stop being afraid of all sorts of clients. A lot of practitioners are afraid of working with cancer clients that only have a short time to live. A lot of practitioners are afraid to work with sexual abuse victims, or, like really crazy people. But we don't have to be afraid, because we are not going into the trauma and getting, the person to remember every horrible thing that ever happened to them. We are just saying to them, okay, so, what is the problem? Tell me the problem. My problem is that life is too crazy. I'm too scared. I'm too stressed. I can't help my family, my friends. I'm falling apart. Okay, what's the first positive we need here? Please put your hand on your heart of energy. We start and end everything in modern energy by putting our own healing hands on our heart of energy.
Wonderful.
And what we do is we say to people, point to the place where you would point, where you'd say, this is me, this is I. And then we put the center of the leading hand over that spot, the other hand over the top.
Got
And
it.
what that also does is it activates our energy hands. So
Okay.
because we've put it in this big energy field of the heart center.
Hmm.
So when we then start tapping, this is more like energy healing. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah. So we start and end our tapping rounds, or we call them sequences, because we're not going round in a circle. We're going up in a spiral.
Okay.
So we start and end them in the heart position. This is very important. I have a YouTube channel with all these simple, basic instructions for people to, do some exercises. Try it out. Try out some modern energy tapping for I need a miracle, or my heart is broken. I've got lots of example videos on my YouTube channel. So I'm inviting everybody to, have a go for free.
Thank you. And Sylvia, you have come up with this star matrix. Could you please tell what is this book all about? And is it enhancement of modern energy tapping, or how is this? It's a
No, I mean, look, tapping is only at the most 10% of what we do in modern energy, right? It's a really nice introduction thing. It's a good thing for beginners. It's fun for more advanced people, but it isn't the be all and end all of making our energy bodies stronger. It's not all there is. We do a lot of other things, we have our own versions of healing hands, of all sorts of things. And I'm always happy to invite people to have a look at what we do. We do a lot of different things. But it's all about making the energy body stronger.
Okay.
This is what holds it together. I'm going to bring this up one more time here. This it's all about getting people out of these chronic stress states and moving their energy average up. And in order to do that, you need to do a lot of different things. You know, you need to really wake up to that you have a living energy body. And this energy body needs more than just cars and clothes and social media. We need to learn to respond to our energy body. And you know, so there's a lot of things that come with that. It's different ways of thinking, different ways of behaving, all sorts. There's all sorts of things, because my work is about making people happier.
Okay.
It is. This is why I'm here on this planet. My parents and all the people around were very unhappy people, very, very stressed. And when you're unhappy and stressed, you have very little love to give to other people. And you're also not thinking straight. You know, you cannot do your best work when you're stressed all the time. And I found the easiest and most direct way to make people stronger and happier is by focusing on the energy body and by making that energy body stronger. Then our emotions are different, we think differently, we act differently, and we become more of a useful person to the people that we love. You know, so my work is all about making the energy body stronger. And tapping with positives is a really easy way to really uplift the energy body very quickly. But you did ask about star matrix. Okay, so I mentioned the personal power positives, right?
Yes.
So in modern energy tapping, how do you discover a powerful positive for an individual person? And what I did was to ask people about a really good memory, a star memory of their lives. And the first time I did that that was at a tapping training. The lady told me of a time when she was a young child and she was running over grassland and she felt totally weightless, totally free, and totally in time with the land. And as she was telling me this, you could see her starting to smile, coming up, and her energy was coming up just by connecting with that positive memory. So I then asked her to give that memory a name so we could tap on it. And she said something like, I don't know, just let's call it freedom. I don't quite remember what it was.
Yes.
Let's call it freedom. And so this to her then meant that memory, that experience. It wasn't an abstract concept. It wasn't just a word. As she was tapping on that, my freedom, that was that memory of that young child running over this grassland, and owning the whole world. Makes me quite emotional to remember this. But so that is powerful stuff. That's not just a word. And as I was doing this more with people, it became really clear that the most empowering energies are in your own star memories. And that everybody has those. And that is what has happened because of psychology is that people have focused too much on trauma. The star memories, the good memories, the ones that flash before your eyes as the airplane dives down into the sea, those have the most information about who you are and what you can do. They have an instant impact on your energy system. You don't have to learn a method or a technique. You just ask somebody. do you remember ever having a wonderful time with nature? Can you tell me about it? And people will go, oh, yes, there was that time when I was on the beach and the summer wind was gentle and then the moon came up and I felt my soul expanding to the heavens. And the instant reaction on the energy body, it's amazing. But there's more than that. If you ask people to tell you then, okay, what was the message in that memory? The information for our conscious minds. Why did you remember that memory today? What is relevant about that memory for you right now? And it is fascinating. It is so empowering. And so what I decided to do was to create a course that for 12 units does nothing but focus on star memories. And so what we do is we have a big notebook called The Book of Stars. And what you do is you write your name, the name you call yourself on the first page, and then you write in your star memories as you recover them. So for this lady with the moon rising on the beach, that would be her first memory. And you give it a number 1, moon memory. Then you short description, what happened. And then you put in how old you were and the year in which it happened. Like you're making an entry in an inventory to see what we've got. What have we already experienced? What have we already learned? By focusing always on the trauma, people are missing this life-saving information. And so what you find is, first of all, that people have had many more star experiences than they thought. Many more. You know, even people, and especially people who've been very abused or who've been in a war, have star moments. People have them. That's natural to people. You know, every soldier you talk to will have a story of after the most horrendous bloody battle, they saw a little flower, perhaps with a bit of dew on it that reflected the sun, and they just connected to spirit, to God, you know? And those are the moments of our lives that matter. They are the most precious thing about us, the most interesting thing about us, the most powerful thing about us. And they've been totally ignored. They've been totally sidelined because people have been chasing trauma and have become trapped in a trauma labyrinth. And here's something that's really important for me to say and have your audience know. See, people think that this trauma thing is that if you tap enough trauma, somehow you will arise as an angel. But when you ask the question, what is wrong with me? This is a generator. There'll be a new answer tomorrow and another answer tomorrow and another answer the day after that. It's never ending, never ever ending until you stop asking that question. The only way to end that, because you could tap for the rest of your life on everything that's wrong with you, because as soon as you ask the question, the next answer will come directly. This I have learned in many years of tapping and watching other people tap. You know, my life is still not working. Oh, there must be another trauma. And it's still not working, and it's still not working. Oh, I haven't found the trauma yet. And it goes on and on and on, and it is a destructive downward spiral. At some point, you've got to stop it with the trauma. And you've got to start asking different questions. Like, what is the problem you are having at the moment? Oh, my wife doesn't love me anymore. Okay, let's work with that. Let's not start asking what happened with your mother 60 years ago, or with your aunt, or with your sister. You have a woman who's about to leave you right here, right now. What can we do now to make this better? What do we need? Well, it might be starting again with a miracle. But it's about, getting trapped in the past traumas is a really unhealthy thing. And if you do that too much, it's not going to make you a better person. It's going to make you a worse person. That's a fact. And we don't want to be worse people. We want to be better people. So I am suggesting that people start looking at their best memories of this life, their true treasures and riches. The only memories that go with you when you die. You ask people in a plane crash survivor scenario, there's no trauma flashing before their eyes before they die. Not one. No trauma, no disrespect, no suffering, no pain. The only thing people remember just before they die is the love. And I think that's enough evidence to ask people seriously now to at least take a trauma holiday and start remembering their best memories of their life, their star memories. And then this interesting thing happened. When we did this, we found connections between our star memories. They weren't isolated events, one here, one there, one there, one there. There was connections between them. A bigger picture began to emerge of what your life is about, of who you really are, and that's where that word matrix comes from. It's not about these isolated events. It is about when you put them together, a totally different self-concept emerges. A totally different idea who you are, what you're about. And you can start to see not just the past stepstones. If these stepstones are like that, there has to be a future trajectory, a path into the future for each individual person. It's magical. It is absolutely amazing what that does to people. And all you do is ask people about some happy memories. It's beautiful. It really is beautiful. And of course, if you just do tapping, if people just do tapping, then do tapping with the happy memories. You can just ask your dear energy mind, okay, which happy memory can help me today? Right here, right now. Oh, happy memory about dancing at a party. Okay, let's tap on it, dancing at a party. I'm young, I'm beautiful, woohoo. It is instant, it's simple, it's easy. And here's another thing why I love this so much. You don't have to have any technique at all. You can go to your old aunt who has been boring and annoying and whining, and you never wanted to visit her. And you go to the old aunt and you say, when you were a young girl, what did you like to do? What gave you real pleasure? And she might say, oh, nothing. And you say, no, really now. Do you remember when you were young and really, with the hair and, and she'd go, oh, well, yes, I guess I'd like to chat with boys by the well or something. What do I know? But the old aunt that is always miserable starts to go, and smile and becomes young before your eyes. And not just that, she becomes interesting. What she has to tell of her life is interesting because it's not complaining about all the badness, but it shows you a little piece of happiness. And that teaches us something. It's beautiful. It's really lovely. Lots and lots of people have been, you know, talking to their old relatives and found a whole new connection with them that they, you know, never had before. And I love that, because as I'm getting older, it's nice to be, you know, have something precious to share with the young ones. And it's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. Star Matrix is a beautiful thing. You don't have to buy my book. You do not have to take my course. Just make your own book of stars, write your memories in it, give them a title so you've got something to tap on. You know, if you're having a bad day, get out your book of stars, look through it. There's all the titles. Ooh, that one. I'll tap on that one today. It's simple, it's easy, it's revolutionary, it's beautiful. And
Yes.
thank you for giving me a chance to talk about it and share it with your viewers.
Yes, it was such a beautiful, like, in personal peace procedure, we take all the bad memories and tap every day. Why not do the opposite? Find our stars and tap on our beautiful, wonderful memories and construct a matrix out of it. Such a beautiful.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing, and it's fail safe. You know, imagine you had a class with 100 people in it, and you ask them to remember something good. You know, the first one starts, the next one starts. By the end, most people have remembered something good, you know, something. And everybody's remembered something good. Everybody's energy body is woohoo, finally, something happy's going on. Oh, hey. And when people are happier, they connect better with each other. You just can't go bloody wrong with it, can you? And I think particularly people who've had very traumatic lives, particularly people who've had a terrible childhood and who've been in wars and who've been mistreated, they need that more than anybody else. And I would say before you start any serious trauma treatment, do some star matrix first to make the person stronger so that when we get to the bad memories, they have a chance of dealing with that, of coping with that. And of course, with the homework, you can send people home and tell them to tap on positives. That's beautiful. It's easy, and we do not need to psychoanalyze ourselves,
Yes.
you know, which is like drilling your own teeth. Yeah. You know,
Again,
often attempted, rarely successful.
got it. I could see
Oh,
how.
can I just mention one thing?
Yeah, please.
When the COVID pandemic started, I recorded a free 12-unit course called The Power of the Positives
Wow.
for everybody. And it does have a little bit of tapping in it, but you can use some of it to tap more if you really want. But it is for everyone, and you don't have to tap. It's a 12-unit proper master's course. It's free on YouTube. It's, you know, with my love, and it covers a lot of sort of the principles that we've talked about here today. I want everyone in the world to know about the living energy body and how we make it stronger so that people, you know, have a better chance of making better lives for themselves and helping other people to, you know, be a better person, be a better member of your community, be a better version. See, this is what I reckon here, right? This is the true self, the real self. Everything else is a stressed version. Everything else is a stressed version. This is your true self. You find yourself at +10. You don't have to live there all the time at all. You know, we go up and down on the energy chart. That's normal. It's like weather. You get sunshine, you get clouds, you get rain, you get hurricanes. That's life. But what we need to understand is that we need to understand that the true self of humanity, the real self, isn't some crazy monster that wants to kill everybody and is just shit. That's just a stressed version. You know, the nicest animal, the nicest cow or horse elephant will go mad if you just beat it enough with a stick.
Yes.
That is not its true nature. It's been driven into this insanity by mistreatment. The true nature of human beings is that where we connect with each other, with God, with the great creative order, when we connect with love itself.
Wonderful.
So yeah, this is what I have come to in my many years of research. So yeah, let's make each other happier in every way we can. And the direct route is, of course, simply by energy work. But if your listeners only remember one thing, the next time you are with an old relative or with a person that you don't know or you don't like them, or you're sitting on a plane next to somebody, please ask them about a happy memory and notice what happens. You will have given that person a moment of rising up out of this stress crap for their energy system to kick into gear and to become more of who they really are. And that's something that everybody can do. And perhaps this person remembers this. And so when they sit next to a boring person on a plane, they say to them, hey, you know, have you ever been on a really amazing holiday?
Wow.
You know, I mean, I want this to be a virus. I want this to spread from one person to another. You know, I do. I love Star Matrix.
Such an amazing. Uh, Sylvia, my heartfelt gratitude for changing the perspective, because classical EFT, I do agree, we keep going to past, then we go into childhood, we go into trauma, we go into memories, keep peeling off layers, but this is a different perspective. Positive tapping, yes.
Yeah, the different perspective arises because I see tapping as an energy modality to change the energy system, not psychology. It's a different thing. We're just working with the living energy body. And when the energy body is happy, we think better. You know, our thoughts become wiser, wider, you know, more loving, more
Yes.
intelligent. And I always say that at +10, love and logic, thinking and feeling, they're not just the same side, the sides of a coin, they're one and the same. One and the same. Love and logic become one and the same. And that's a really beautiful thing to me as well. This is, and the thing is, everybody has experienced this. There's all these people waiting for an enlightenment event, and they already had it. They already saw the sunrise one morning, and their whole being expanded and became one with the universe. They are already enlightened, but they've been told to look at all their traumas and where people have hurt them. So yeah, it's really important. Star memories are really important. And I just, you know, they're amazing. They do amazing things for your self-concept.
And also, thanks for being such a beautiful star for creating this beautiful modalities. And it's been, Sylvia, my heartfelt gratitude for such a perspective changing. I should say that it has bring a different shift in the way of thinking itself. That why not we tap on positives? Why not recall positive memories and tap and work and relive that? Wonderful. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I just say to people, don't reject it, just try it. You might like it.
Yes. Thank you very much.
Okay, my dear, thank you very much for having me.
Thank you, Sylvia. Thank you.
I and